So let's have a look at how the 7-step process to build your marketing plan. First thing is you've got to work out who is your ideal client. And I'm not talking about a pulse and a wallet. That doesn't make a client ideal, does it? For some of you, you're going, yes, that would be perfect. Just a wallet, don't need the pulse. So who is your ideal? Now, the best way to discover who your ideal... Now, when I talk about who is your ideal customer, you know when your phone rings and you press the red button, you know straight away they're not your ideal customer. What I want you to do now is I want you to make a list of all the best customers. So I want you to think about who you currently deal with or who you've dealt with in the past that you absolutely loved to deal with for whatever reason, right? So the reasons might have been that they gave you a stack of referrals. Maybe you loved dealing with them because they paid quickly, they didn't whinge, or they didn't ask for a discount, or whatever it might be. You've got to work out who your ideal customer is. And it's funny, I've just started a brand new business called Oz Lens Rental. I'm quite the photography nut. And I've got this, it's probably a really good trait and a really bad trait, that everything I do in my life I have to turn into a business. For some reason, I don't know why. And so photography is one of those businesses, one of those areas where I've said, you know what, it's very, there's not a lot of places out there that are good at renting camera equipment. I'm going to start my own photography rental business. But I thought to myself, I said, what sort of client do I want to deal with? Because there's about 9, 10 major players in Australia that rent out equipment. And I thought, well, I don't want to do one-day hires. Not worth my while if you only want it for one day. There's plenty of other businesses that do that. And they're also pick-up and delivery only. So I don't want to do that either. I don't want to have to get a premises. I want to run it out of, I want a contract running it. So I do it all out of Pack and Send. I don't know if you've heard of them before. But I went into Pack and Send. I said, I'm just going to give you all the equipment. I'm going to train you on how to ship the goods. When we get a web order through, it's going to come through to you. You're going to ring the car. You're going to make it all happen. Beautiful way to run a business. But I had to then decide, okay, what type of customer do I want? First of all, I want a customer that doesn't want to talk to anybody, because I don't have anyone for them to talk to. So they've got to know what it is they want. They've got to be happy. So they've got to be web savvy. Most photographers are, thankfully. So they can go on the website. The minimum order they can place is 3 days because the margins are less because I'm contracting out the work. So I want a customer that will take it for 3 days. And I even say on my website on the FAQ that, one of the questions that I've thought I'll just answer up front is, will I match or beat a competitor's price? And I just put no. No, we do not. Because I know other people, that's their USP. It's not going to be my USP. My USP is if you want good quality gear and you want it on time and you want to be able to order it without a deposit or a bond, I'm the first in Australia to do that. I've paid thousands of dollars to get access to a government database sort of checking system. If you want to be able to hire something without leaving a deposit or bond, with it delivered to your door and picked up from your door, then I'm the company that does it. So that's my uniqueness. I don't want to try and copy everybody else. So that's how, so when it comes to marketing, then I can start to go, well, who is my ideal customer? Do I want the person that wants the best deal possible? No, I don't want that person, do I? I want the person that will pay a little bit extra because they value what? Their time. And they don't want to have to run around picking up stuff and dropping stuff off. They just want it delivered to their door and picked up from them so they can get on with whatever they've got to do. Does that make sense? So you can do this whether you're a startup or whether you've been in business for a long time. So you can either imagine the type of customer you want to deal with, or if you are in business, which a lot of you are as well, you can start to work out what in the past year, what have been the great experiences I've had and who have they been with and why. Okay, so start making that list now. Who is it? You can even start by writing out their names. If you can't remember the names, it might be the project we worked on them with, or whatever it might be. Just write down 5 or 10 ideal clients that you've worked with. So if you're a brand new business, you can do the same thing I do with my rental business. Just think about who your ideal client is and who you want to deal with. Forget about coming up with the reasons why it won't work for now. Just write down your ideal client. We'll get a bit of thinking music, please, Mr. Music. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do that exercise. Write down their name or whatever it is that makes you remember them. And then the attribute. What were the attributes that made them ideal? Did they pay fast? Did they give you referrals? Were they easy to deal with? Were they fun to work with? Were they whatever it might be? So now you should have some clarity over who this person is and what they look like. And that's, the first part to any marketing campaign is to really identify who it is you want to attract. Because if you're not clear on this, it's like when you go out fishing, I don't know. Have we got any people here that love fishing? Any fishermen here? Yeah, okay. So when you go fishing, do you go for a specific species or do you just chuck your line in and hope for the best? What do you do? That's my technique, right? What do you do? You just chuck it in and hope for the best? Yep. Does anybody do something specific for fishing? What do you do? Yeah. So if I wanted to catch freshwater trout, am I going to do that at Balmoral Beach? No, I'm not, am I? It doesn't matter how good a fisherman I am, doesn't matter how many hours I spend, and I could have the most expensive fishing equipment on the planet, but if I'm not fishing in the right spot, I'm never going to catch them. Salt water, not going to catch a freshwater fish. So the same thing is with when we're working out our marketing campaigns. We go, okay, who are we targeting so we can exactly work out who they are? But the next step then is identify the different target markets within those people, because you might find that they're different markets, and it's okay to have multiple markets that you target. Years ago, I worked with a company that did bathroom reglazing. And when I first started with them, they were the cheapest on the market, the cheapest. Now, is being the cheapest a good idea? Well, it can be if it's your strategy, but generally it's not a good idea. Because if you're cheap and what? Cheap and nasty. You know, it's like when you go to Crazy Clint's and the $2 stores, it's all really good quality stuff there you get, isn't it? But you know straight away, right? So cheap we equate with not being the best of quality. And these guys were struggling. They're going, well, we're the cheapest. Why aren't we getting the most work? Well, I can tell you Myer's probably a little bit more successful than Crazy Clint's. True or true? And they're not the cheapest, right? So I said to them, let's put your prices up. Let's put your prices up. Let's make sure we've got good delivery mastery. We'll train your team. We'll do training videos. Let's get everyone in uniforms. Let's regulate how they spray these bathrooms when they do the resurfacing. Let's really put some effort into that. And then what we'll do is we'll increase the price. And we increased the price by, from like $3.79 to $4.29 or something like that. It wasn't a huge jump, but enough to, more than 10%. And their conversion rate went up. Changed nothing else but the price. So I said, all right, let's put it up again. We put it up to like $4.79. Conversion rate went up. Then we said, okay, let's make it $5.29. Conversion rate went up. Just kept going up. Now, the most expensive was like $5.70 or something like that. And we came in at the second most. We found that as soon as we went over about $5.49, our conversion rate started to drop. So we said, let's just price it at that premium spot. But then we were thinking, what are the people that aren't buying from us anymore? The people that like the cheap stuff. So I said, let's just start another company. So we had Bathroom Reglazing of Sydney, and then we had another one which was Budget Bathroom Reglazing. Now the difference was, that the premium one had a guarantee, and the guarantee was that if you weren't happy with the job, we would come back and respray it until you were. That was the guarantee. And we also had an offer. We gave away a metal, like a stainless steel drain insert, so once you got your bath resurfaced, your drain wouldn't look old and skanky. We'd give you a nice new one. Now, on the budget side, we didn't have the guarantees, and the budget side became our training company. So when we hired new people, they worked there first. You get what you pay for. True? Because remember, most of the people that wanted the cheapest job are either what? What are they? Tight asses. Yeah, okay. Okay, I wasn't thinking that. What else could it be? Jewish. What sort of people are they? Jewish. They're landlords. Okay, so they're landlords just wanting to spruce the bathroom up a bit so they can get a tenant in, or they're selling. They were the two type of customers that we found were asking for a cheaper price. Makes complete sense. So they didn't care. If you're selling or you're a landlord, you really didn't care about the guarantee or the chrome insert. You weren't going to be lying in there having a bath. So what we did was we came up with at least 2 target markets just there. And then we started to dissect the target markets up even further and go, okay, well now we've got a target market which is landlords, and we've got a target market which is people selling. 2 different target markets. The marketing needs to be different. But by understanding that, made it much easier for us to work out our marketing campaign. Does that make sense? Because then you could go, okay, well now we've got landlords of properties in Sydney's West and you've got landlords of properties in Sydney's East. You can start more target markets, right? So you can start to really dissect, and your marketing becomes very, very directed at a particular market, which means you can write directly to that person in your marketing. So your message resonates with them. And this is crucial to being successful in marketing. If you don't have your target markets clearly mapped out, there's no way you can write directly to them. You're going to be doing fishing, just chucking a hook in and hoping for the best. And if you want to land a trout and you're fishing at Balmoral, it's never going to happen. It's as simple as that. So you've got to have your target market. Once you've worked out all your target markets, you can then write out a list of where will I find them in their highest concentration. Because that's where I'm going to market. So let's keep on the bathroom reglazing example. So I've worked out that one of my markets is landlords that just want to spruce up the bathroom quickly and cheaply to get a tenant in there.